I wanted to talk about just some personal thing. We have the solar eclipse has a lot to do with clearing karma or making karmic beings eat their karma. Um, Cut and dried that way, I'm pretty sure. Because there's that split thing that happens, and if you can imagine, there's a lot of relief and release available for them that has just stuck to their guns about perhaps there's a lot of lies being told about our very existence, which is easy because anything you say in words is a lie um, compared to the actual experience of the truth, right? Needs to be like rehashed over and brought into celebration because Babylon is ending. And there's a lot of people who can't even explain to us the Babylon. But yeah, if we start to reduce down words and find birds in them, which is to say, is there something that makes sense here on the in this middle dimension with this language? Can we see what they're talking about here? And if we can't, question it even more, because if it's not graspable by the perception of, say, the average scientist, then maybe it's fake. Maybe it's a lie. Maybe it's something else, posing as something else. Maybe it's Antichrist, right? So, a lot of people don't even know what Antichrist means. And because they don't know what Christ is. And it's like, well, still, we can reduce the equation down and find out what is in the word Christ. If there is something to make sense to the sheep there, they know what is, and that's why we have the opportunity to do that. I mean, it's something we can look into and begin to end or pull away from illusion, all of the gibberish, thinking that we know what we're saying and we don't. Not even when we say it out loud, like neckties and because and insight. Insight, what's that? It's something the brains would change into some hocus pocus thing rather than say what's in sight. Take the two words apart. Insight. Great, and everything that you have an inner vision about something, but and it's not that you're going to be able to relate it to everybody, but you can if if it's relatable, if it's the truth. A 5-year-old can understand it, just like Einstein said. If you understand it and it's the truth, you can explain it to a 5-year-old. Some way, somehow, prove to us that you've got a connection to the truth in reality, which is quite a complex subject matter. There's many, many truths. Anyway, this conversation, I'm being brought up out of trying to get some sleep. I can actually probably go back to sleep. But it's the night before this eclipse thing. And of course, there's a lot in the air that's kind of strange. But the main thing is that you can't push down the truth like the sun or the moon. It's just going to keep popping up. And like I said, with the split that is very real, it's happening. What is it? Well, we've talked about narcissists and their opposite, which is human beings. we can keep talking about the possibility of what these words are pointing at. I like to put the E at the end of hUMANe. And that is very controversial because what a lot of people wouldn't think is humane, like isn't cool, is actually humane in the garden. You don't, you know, you don't want to expose the healthy parts to the sick parts. And if you think about it, you don't want to expose the sick parts to the healthy parts. Um, Not if it's malignant cases, not if if it's just there's no help. You can see that it needs to be actually. If it was a garden, it was a gardener, you would just cut out the disease. You would just take it away and say, ah, there's something wrong, and then you would, right? You would sterilize it or something, or just cut it away and put new material in. And that's whatever is being cut out, like hanging on for its dear life, probably doesn't agree one iota with the movements being made. But if it was a collective, like healthy intelligence at all, I mean, there would be a health. Boy, this is hell of a controversial subject matter, but it would be an inkling to health that the ones that are being a burden, the ones that are the sickest, diseased, they they surrender themselves and just say, throw me in the fire. You guys have something more important you're doing with the truth and everything. I lost it. See, if you lose the truth, if see, this is what people don't understand about God and or truth. It's as simple as this. See, God is punishing. God will. It's a fucked up thing when you ignore the truth. You can ignore the truth all you want, but you won't be able to ignore the consequences from having ignored the truth. It's as simple as if you do not admit that there is a curb there while you're walking and see the curb is the truth. You think that you're just going to defy that and keep walking the same stride without even lifting your feet up over it, first of all, you're going to hurt your toe. It will keep hurting until you figure out that there's the truth there, and then you surrender. You surrender the mind and say, you know what? Aside from what I think, this fucking thing is here. And I have to look into it and just like, okay, you're more powerful than I am, way more powerful. Not yet can we walk through walls or curbs yet, so you just got to join the school here of what we have supposedly agreed upon, that there are solids and liquids and gases and plasmas here. As far as the plasma thing, that's kind of, we shouldn't add it in like that, because plasma is like very non-physical, wouldn't you think? Wouldn't you say? And it has to do with a whole different, it's opening up into a whole different realm that within um, there, all of the other possibilities exist, such as gas, solids, and liquids. Anyway, get as creative as you possibly can. Step out of the box. Say, darn it, this is what I like to look into. I like to also catch messages from the beyond, and I like to just vibrate on the very leading edge of the universe. Here it is 2 a.m. and people are beginning to calm down out there a little bit. It's Sunday. Maybe they have to work tomorrow, and I heard that dog barking. It was at 12 o'clock. It's just, you can hear this one dog that barks, and it's like Idlewild has never had a dog that barks around the clock like that because there's humanity here who won't let that happen. People don't like to sit or be at night trying to sleep with a dog barking all the time, and then it gets on your conscience. You think, well, first of all, it's very cold. It has been cold, and you wonder, well, why are they doing that to the dog, and why doesn't the dog get attention? It's barking because it's being left out. And see, that question alone should weigh on your conscience. But has it left? Has it left? See, the eclipse would tell me that tells us that there's a lot of karma coming for people that live oblivious to the truth. That, see, living oblivious to the truth says that will create just one shallow, one meek possibility. And I'm using meek as a word that says no, piss poor, not very elevated. It doesn't look at any other possibility. It's kind of, I'm looking at the word modest, which it doesn't work if you are talking about expanding into awareness. Awareness means the opposite of closing down your senses. It's just opening up and going, going through, and just, it's just an experience, right? And then with that, how are we doing it? Well, it's just energy. We're using energy to have these experiences, and there's only so much time here. You see, I have heard, and I kind of adopt the philosophy of um, well, anyway, I was going to say something about something along the lines of that it's not all good. There is the way, and there's the path, you know, or it's like you either get it or you don't. And so we're talking about the split thingy. So yeah, with the eclipse, I think because everybody is being called to look at it, let's just say everybody's being called to look at the truth. There is a truth happening. What is it? Do you see that some people live oblivious and in denial and just follow, say, what money or the warlords would like us to do, which is to be in counteractive measure against the people who see? Do you see the truth, and do you notice, no, this is actually living oblivious. We need to not do these things. See, that's what Taurus vibration does for us. In Uranus and Taurus, whether it's the earth shaking or some kind of crashing down financially of our world, it's going to keep asking for us to just stop, at least slow down and figure out, do you need any of this really? How much of this do you really find um, necessary to sustain your life? Having asked that, most of the world is there to distract you away from the life that is already sustained, which is reality. It's just here. It's like, wow, what are we going to do? Give us this day, which is, did you find it? Did you get to wake up, and do you have your beautiful breath that says, it's more than just a breath, babe. This is a connection to, like, okay, woo, this is a trip, right? You have this physical body and all of this, and even though we talk about freedom and responsibility and all this and slapping ourselves in the face for people to try to make them understand, our daily bread, do you have enough food today to sustain you for the rest of the day, to keep you in sustenance and keep you into the life that is now? And what more do you need? See, are you going to watch TV and take an order and walk around and behave in certain ways and bump off of each other and really literally bumping each other off and out of reality, if you have any other idea of your own other than what the left wing or the right wing or both of those wings belong to the same bird, by the way? And the more and more people aren't paying attention, the more and more the place gets trashed. It's kind of the same with the eclipse thing. I can't believe it, how science is just popping up. See, this is what I understand, babes. This is what I've been downloaded with. This is what the upper spectrum math points at. The English alphabet, the symbols. It's telling us how the universe works as we are one human beings, human embodiment. Your body has the ability to dial in your awareness to a certain thing that you can be involved with. It's kind of a density, but it's a school still of how to learn, and how to be in co-creation with the truth. And so that is saying literally, as you have your 5 fingers, and what are you going to do, kids? But the truth of that, of your very existence here, is like, see, you didn't create your body or any of this. You have a creator that comes from upstairs, and there is a way that it has happened because it's very scientific. And the upper spectrum math found in the capitalized letters, English alphabet, points at very kindly how that it's working through your eye. And we have see, the thing that I'm dialing in on about the sun, it's already here. See, the language is already here, and it's connecting. We have a crown chakra. We also have a corona. Our coronas are, it has to do with our third eye and our pineal gland. The sun, 100%, is having to do with that also. It has a crown, has the corona. This is what shows up when the moon goes in front of the mass of the sun. The corona is the only thing available. And God, I mean, you can get hocus pocus all you want with science, but this is the truth. This is just a fact that's going on. See, that there's only one sky, and the organism that has the potential of becoming humane here, and therefore graduating into the universe and becoming creators, builders of world themselves, by consciously knowing that they are rendering this stuff up through how. See, the sun has its own messages, and so does the cosmos, and we are surrounded in intelligence that, if we were to be able to just trust it, and I didn't just say, well, take off all your clothes and forget about what we're doing here. No, we know how to make clothing, and by the way, we make it out of silk and cottons. If you're living life right, and you stay in connection with things, and you do it, and especially the way you feel. Who wants to wear anything else but cotton or silk, because it feels so much better? You like your eczema coming from, it's really from the inside out that stuff happens, and that's coming from the foods that you're eating that are terrible, the stuff that you're exposed to so much. If you think about it, the soaps that are toxic that you're using, laundry detergents, perfumes, the many different soaps, and let alone all around, babes, you have to take care of yourself. See, otherwise you get sick, and that's the truth that you're ignoring. When you ignore the truth of something, you can do that all you want, but you cannot ignore the consequences from having ignored the truth, right? And if you want to, a lot of people, narcissists, they love to talk about this, and even some other people that are, you would think they could share something more useful than just to say, God is not a punishing God. It's like, well, you haven't even been alive yet, and realize that if you do not pick your shit up, it's punishing, right? It's hard because there's the lie, the matrix of man, I guess you'd call it, that says, no, you follow this and this and this, and you're fine. You just be protected. You get more and more in your box inside of a box inside of a box. It's like, it's a clan of what money would have go on. It's just something to fill time, and who's going to figure it out? That's kind of a buffer in between knowing and not knowing. Just like I said, money is an excuse. Like, you need an excuse from the doctor. If you've gone to public schools, you cannot miss many, many days without bringing an excuse from the doctor proving that you're sick. It's an analogy that I'm saying. Money is your note that says, hey, I couldn't make it to reality, which is the school and or the truth. I'm just, no, I would rather follow this over here and see, be teacher's pet, be a complete stitched up dummy, and build gardens of everlasting hell on earth that doesn't nourish anybody. We can't use it. It's actually abuse of you, the human energy that is squandered to led to believe, and just because of money is going to give them food. That's about it. You want a full belly when you go to sleep at night. So they take you away from all of the information field as to how to get that simple thing in, and the simple thing with that is it could be more complex than you ever think. That maybe we can transcend out of being such grubbers on animals especially, and then think about the fibers and stuff. I mean, can we have something reduced into just pure energy feeding into us? Why not? Like a flower gets its energy from the environment, just being here, rooted and being intrinsically part of it. You don't really see it feasting on things, right? It's possible to have a kind of life that is living in harmony, and it looks like it belongs here, and it's so beautiful. Huh? No? You want to be a part of that, or you want to not be a part of that? See, that's the thing I do believe. It's like, it's not a belief, it's just you can feel it. The disconnect that the narcissist might be. You're there and you're like, well, how far along are you in your awareness? Are you still a mind imagining a life to be? You're going to throw some scripture at me now? I'll tell you, I already told you what your real life is looking like and what the real book is. Blank. Beautiful, ultimate truth here written. If anything is on here, now. But you don't need that. See, it's just, welcome. Does it feel like that you've fallen out the face? Can you not do anything? You can throw that tape measure away and just pull out a string. Get a cup of water instead of a level. I mean, if you think you're just without tools, still you've got some faculty, don't you? Don't ya?